With mature markets being at a much higher level of saturation, they've been forced to diversify into emerging markets. 55% FDI being diverted to emerging markets is clear testimony to the same. These markets intuitively are also high on corruption exposure risk, and the CPI index validates the same. If that wasn't enough, the regulators have been a whole lot more active in the recent past as well. The DOJ for FCPA has been at a heightened level of activity in the last 4 to 5 years. FSO in UK rolled out the UK Anti-bribery Anti-corruption Act as recent as 2011. And in Europe, about 40 plus countries embraced the OECD guidelines in the last 24 to 30 months. Clearly, all of this pulled together has created a compliance environment which is way more complex than it's been before. Large corporates essentially are trying to build their anti-compliance framework on a very strong foundation of policy, procedures, and guidelines. The first being the remote site audit or desktop audits, which allows them to increase their coverage substantially. There is significantly enhanced advanced analytics being used, including cognitive intelligence and machine learning in processes like accounts payable and T&E, where anti-corruption exposures are significantly higher. Companies are also focusing a lot more on training, especially in emerging markets, as there they've experienced cultural aspects make the dividing line between facilitation payments and corruption reasonably thin and lending itself to shades of gray, which essentially are compliance risks. Over time, legal and compliance function and anti-corruption have become synonymous words. However, if one peels the onion one layer further, it's evident that a large part of anti-corruption risk lies in the AP and T&E processes, which is squarely in the domain of the global controller. It is true that legal functions do mitigate contractual risk around anti-corruption in a significant way. However, both just about remain as important. As we look at large corporates across the globe, there do seem to be differing approaches and views on where this responsibility might sit: legal and compliance or global controllers organization. As we look at the cross-section of clients that we work with, those that have been successful have created a collaborative environment wherein the legal and compliance team, as well as the global controllers organization, come together to work in a seamless operating manner. One brings deep legal interpretation capabilities, while the other brings to the table deep domain around process risk and controls. Companies that have been successful have embraced technology a lot better than others. Technology in form of advanced analytics, machine learning, robotics. The process that lends itself to automation the most is possibly the T&E process, which does have a significant amount of anti-corruption risk as well. If one looks at it in its entirety, a coordinated effort between the legal and compliance team and the global controllers organization is the most definitive response to building the right operating model to de-risk the anti-corruption space.